Courtney Enders here with FloRacing, and I have yet another contestant of the Pro Superstar Shootout. Now this one's going to be really special to me because not only am I a Pro Stock junkie, but Greg, you're going to love this. I was a fan of Greg Anderson back in the day. I still have hero cards from the early 2000s when I was just a kid, and now we're here doing this together. No.
Your nose is growing?
No, this is Courtney talking here.
Like a candy little girl.
You cannot have a Greg Anderson interview without a lollipop. Racing world, we have a very successful show called One Lap, One Beer, and today,
one lollipop.
One lap, cheers, one lollipop.
Cheers.
So we've got Greg Anderson here, one of the winningest drivers in Pro Stock history, 5-time world champion. So first things first, let's just talk to the Flo audience about your early start in Pro Stock. You were not driving, you were working. How did you get involved in this disaster of a Pro Stock?
Well, first of all, what are they trying to do out there?
We're busy.
Race cars, okay? I got my start with my father. My father raced when I was a young kid. Probably when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, I started going to the racetrack with my dad. And he raced modified eliminator, one step below Pro Stock. But my dad had a good friend by the name of John Hagan who raced Pro Stock. So through my father racing, I got to start racing Pro Stock with John Hagan. Unfortunately, we lost John Hagan in 1983 in a horrible crash at Bradenton. It knocked the wind right out of me. I quit racing. I basically went home and didn't race for 3 years. I absolutely gave it up. It was he was like a second father to me, so that was quite a blow. But after 3 years of selling used cars, working on used cars at my dad's car lot, I got a call from Warren Johnson, and he said, would you consider getting back into this game? And I said, well, I've told myself for the last 3 years, if I'm going to get back into this game, it would only be with a man like yourself, a Bob Glidden, or a Frank Iconio. I consider those three the top.
Sorry. Okay.
So anyway, I told him it would be either with a man like him, Bob Glidden, or Frank Iconio. Those were the top runners back then. They were winning all the races, and I guess I had learned enough in my years with John Hagan. If I was going to do this, I wanted to do it with a team that knew how to win and had the resources to win. Yep. So I took the offer. I moved to Georgia. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and went to work for Warren and Kurt, and spent 12 years there. And
those dog years or real years?
Those were, that was a tough college to go to. I'm not going to lie. It was a tough school, but I learned a lot. Obviously, the man knows a ton, and
They don't call him the professor for nothing.
He is the professor. He taught me a ton. Obviously, he taught me a ton about a lot of things to do on race cars, a lot of right things to do, but he probably taught me a few things that maybe I didn't want to do too. So anyway, fast forward, I got an opportunity to drive with my future wife, Kim Humphrey. Her father had a Pro Stock car. He said, you want to come try driving a car? I said, yes. Warren sent Kurt and I to Roy Hill's drag racing school to basically teach us a lesson. And he did. He taught us a lesson that we wanted to drive Pro Stock. So it's his fault. As I say, it's his fault to this day that I'm a Pro Stock driver, not just a mechanic. So anyway, got an opportunity to drive, and after a couple of tough years of struggling and running part-time, but a great offer from my father-in-law, great opportunity, I never went back to Warren, and I finally met a man by the name of Ken Black, put me in this race car that I'm in still today, and we've raced 20-some years and won 5 championships, and had Jason Lyon as a partner, and he won 3 or 4 championships, and Bo Butner won a championship. So the team of KB Racing, which formed in 2001, has been my second life, basically. Warren was the first life. KB Racing was the second life, and I think I'm having a little more fun in the second life, to be honest with you. I had a blast the first one, but this has been more fun yet.
So in drag racing, a lot of people move around. They conquer something in one class and they say, I'm going to move on to what's next. You have tried and true, stuck to Pro Stock. What is it about it to you? Because the fans like the poppy, blowy, nitro stuff, but Pro Stock's where it's at for you.
They do, and it's the competition. It's absolutely, in my opinion, it's the ultimate in competition in drag racing. And can you make more power than the next guy out there? Can you drive that car better than the next guy out there? And we in Pro Stock.
In the danger zone.
That's kind of fast. What most fans don't understand is in a Pro Stock car, yes, they're not quite as fast as a top fuel funny car. They don't explode, they don't blow up, knock on wood. They're just very technical to drive. And I've said it a million times to every new driver that's wanted to come in, they're not that difficult to drive. They're very difficult to drive right. And it's just a fine line of being able to shift them right, to steer them right, to do the burnout right, to everything, all the above. And we shift 5 gears before we get to the 8th mile at a racetrack. So we're very busy in that race car, and there's no room for error. We have a 10.5 rev limiter. If you hit that rev limiter just a little bit, you slow down. If you shift it too early, you slow down. So it's perfection or nothing.
As you just mentioned with the competition in Pro Stock, let's talk about this Pro Superstar Shootout at Bradenton Motorsports Park. Give the fans here at FloRacing a little insight to, is this KB versus Elite thing really as intense and good as it seems?
Well, it's probably more intense than it's ever been, and the reason being, it's not just myself against Eric Anders. It's everybody on the KB Racing team, the Dallas Glens, the Kyle Koretskis, the Camry Carusos, it's the Aaron Stanfields. The line goes on and on. TJ, it's the depth on both of our teams is so deep that we go into every race on the weekend, and number one, the qualifying spots are decided by thousands. We see that, but when you come first round, anybody can lose.
Yep.
And that didn't used to be like that back in the day. So not only is it a great rivalry, but the whole sport is just ratcheted up. The whole sport has just stepped up the pace, and you know what it takes. The price of poker these days in pro stock is way higher than it's ever been. It's harder to win because the competition's so deep. That's why we love it. That's why we love it.
You and Erica made me laugh earlier this year. Pro Stock was the old guys game, the really just into drag racing, as Erica calls it, the cigar holding guys game. And it's changed in the last few years. We've got a lot of young talent, like you said, with Dallas, with Aaron, with TJ, with Camry. Erica was that young thing, but now it's kind of shifted. And you and Erica are basically the old guys of this
We're the
class.
elder statesmen in the class. And obviously, she's not anywhere near as old as I am, but probably as far as seniority
compared to the other, she's
right
getting
behind
there.
me. So absolutely, we are, you know, the older group. And these young guns, they not only have confidence through the roof, they could give a crap less if you got 100 wins or you got 6 championships. They could care less. When they roll up there every time, they expect they're going to whoop your ass every time. And they're disappointed if they don't.
Yep.
It's like, where's the respect? It gets you nowhere anymore. So it's kind of cool, actually. I kind of like that, and I'm glad they're like that. I'm glad they got that cutthroat, no fear attitude, and they just expect to beat you every time out there. So the fact that myself and Erica have been able to hold them off the last 2 years and swap championships and finish 1-2 both years is kind of really a miracle in my opinion, because
I think it's badass.
These young kids have every bit as good equipment as we have.
Yep.
They're not coming in with inferior equipment. They're not coming into this class with inferior equipment. They're coming in with the same equipment that I've got, the same equipment that Erica's got, and they got 10, 20, 30 years younger than us. So how do we win? But somehow we find a way. So it's cool, and it's great that we're able to keep doing it. I'm not going to say that we're going to be able to keep doing it, but we're sure as hell trying.
I like the pact that you guys have kind of made. It's through the rivalries. She even says it's you and her against the world. But when we roll into this Pro Superstar Shootout at Bradenton Motorsports Park, all of the marbles here are who's going to have that number one on your door. There is a lot of money up for grabs here, a lot of bragging rights and a lot of money. When you roll into there, do you think it's going to be more intense or less intense because money's the motive?
I think it's going to be more intense. To me, it's going to be more intense. I'm always been money driven. You know, back when we used to have the Mr. Gasket Shootout for 50 grand or whatever it was, hugest payday of the year for us. I got up more for that race than any other race. I enjoyed the heck out of that. That was great. So you can say it all you want. Money doesn't mean it. You're damn right it does. Money drives us, and it's going to be the biggest purse we've ever raced for.
Yep.
It's going to be the coolest race that I've ever attended. I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait.
We're going to shift gears here a little bit. Greg Anderson is many things, a legend. 100 and what are we up to now? Who knows by the time this ends? 103.
Nice round number, 103.
103 wins. That is incredible. 5 championships. But you do things out here. You guys are a family. Your son is out here, like you mentioned your wife earlier, being involved in this. Cody Anderson, your son, everybody knows him. He tried to shave his face so he looked like you to have the mustache. What is it about that? I know that he wasn't going to be into this, but how much more special is that? And does it kind of keep you out here a little longer knowing that he's got the bug and doing this with you?
Without a doubt. And if I go back 3-4 years ago, he really wanted nothing to do with this. He loved golf. Hell, I love golf. I wanted to be his caddy. But since he's been working on my race car, it's been 3-4 years now, every year he's not only learned more, but he's gotten the drive, he's gotten the bug, he's hooked. And you could predict.
Are you a little like, damn it?
I didn't try to push him into it. I absolutely did not try to push him into it. Probably try to push him away from it. But I'm telling you, once you get involved with this sport, you're done. It's like it hooks you in and you can't get out. You never get out the rest of your life. So I'm afraid he's in it for life. And I probably only got a couple of good years left in me as far as driving. And I've told him I'm going to give him a chance to drive my race car when I do. So when I've come to the point where I decide I can't win anymore, he's going to get into the chair. I'm going to give him a shot and see what he can do. So he'll be another young gun out there, and we'll see what kind of talent he's got. So I'm looking forward to that day. I would love to stand on the starting line and watch my son, go out there and race.
As we kind of wrap this up, we've gotten to know you on a little bit of a serious level, but I have some real questions. I've watched you through all of this. Reason I wanted one lap, one lollipop. I have a real question. Do you keep a bag of these in your car? Because I've never seen you at the top end without a gosh dang lollipop. What's the deal with the pop?
I just flat have a lot around me. I have a lot of fans that bring them around to me, and I don't keep them in the race car, but I always bring one of the staging
But somebody's
lanes.
there quick.
They probably bring one to the finish line, so I guess it's become my deal. I'm not even sure why or how, but it's just nervous energy.
And this is only going to hurt your image here with doing this as one lap, one lollipop with the legend of Pro Stock Greg Anderson.
See, everybody wants to make me soft. I used to be a kind of a tough guy and a really cutthroat guy, and I'm getting soft.
I used to be scared of you. I'm not anymore.
You're not helping with that. No,
I'm not anymore. Listen, Greg Anderson loves everybody,
I'm
even Courtney
soft.
Enders.
I'm becoming soft. It's a shame.
It's not a shame. It's amazing. You've done great things for the sport. Before we wrap this up, I want you to give this camera here and everybody who's going to be watching this on FloRacing a little spiel of, I'm Greg Anderson. We're going to be coming to Bradenton Park for the Pro Superstar Shootout, and this is why you should watch it.
That's exactly right. I am Greg Anderson. I drive a Pro Stock car. I drive the HendrickCars.com Chevy Camaro. As I told you before, big money on the line. Nothing drives a racer like money. We'll all be working night and day to get ready for this special race, and I'm telling you, you folks do not want to miss it. It's going to be the coolest event ever. Be there.
Beautiful.
How the fuck are we going to get home?
I know, we got to walk back.